Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids and we're back for some more Pyre Community RITE Night, which means of course some good old-fashioned multiplayer Pyre featuring first and foremost none other than the members of the RITE Club Discord server, the place for all things multiplayer Pyre. And if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then that is the place to be, and you can join said Discord server by clicking on that link right there. But those of you in chat, you are not off the hook. No, because you see the red circle with the white L below chat. You click on that, you'll find all the various requests that you can make today, including things ranging from selecting players' exiles, masteries, songs, arenas, even Titan stars are all fair game. So, without further ado, let's hop into versus mode here. We'll set ourselves back to our defaults, and we will get ready to go here. So let me know if there's anyone who would like to get us started today, as I will jump into said Discord server. Alright, I am in. Let me just throw some Steam friends up here real quick. Let's see. Huzzah, that's good to go. Nice. Okay. So, how's it going, everybody? Do we have anyone who would like to get us started today? Or any requests we'd like to start things off with? Granted, you know, usually probably best to get the people in before we start throwing too many crazy things out there. Trying to think if we had any particular unusual or noteworthy occurrences, discoveries last week. It was a couple weeks ago, right, where we came to a new discovery for some Boat Magic 2.0. I don't know if we had anything on that order of significance last time. But Valor says he's ready to jump in, so why don't we start off with him? Let me get him an invite. Oh no, not this song and dance. Okay, he's not yet on Steam, but it will now be a race to see if I can invite him before he requests it. Oh, wait! Too slow. Too slow, Valor. Too slow. Alright, so we have Valor in here. And Anor can start as... not the most enthusiastic of showings from Anor. I mean, I guess she can jump in. I suppose so. Alright. Let me send you an invite as well. I guess. Nah, I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm just giving you a hard time. Thanks, Steam. Love it when you do this, Steam. I really appreciate it. It's really convenient. Alright. Let's see. Oh, did the invite go through for Valor as well? At the moment, Remote Play says that Valor has been invited, but is not in yet. You know what? I'll resend them both. That is a bit of a concerning sign if Steam is already acting up like this. But fingers crossed that that is not something we need to be too worried about going forward. Alright, once we have you both in, let me know if we can confirm who's player 1 and who's player 2. Looks like we got one of you in here, and based on the triumvirate, I assume that's Failure, but not a Nor. Do we need to try again for you, Nor? Seems like we might. Okay. Well, we got one. That's an encouraging sign. Third time's the charm, maybe? Oh, yikes. Okay. That's unfortunate. Steam, at least on Anora's end, being a little bit uncooperative, but hopefully that can be resolved. I suppose, assuming we can get Anora in, Steam Remote Play at its finest, for sure. Assuming we can still get Anora in, let us know, chat, if there is anything we'd like to see in this first match between Failure and Anora. They have a little bit of time to scheme something up. Anora says Rage of Demons, and oh, she's going to Exiles as well, okay. Does it have anything to do with those demons, perhaps? Iggy first, okay, yes it does. Oh, his birthday was a couple days ago. No worries. This will be our birthday celebration for Iggy, I suppose. Try it again? Okay. Let's see. Let's see if this is any better. That sounded encouraging. And if one of you could just confirm now that we actually have a Norin. Failure's on keyboard mouse. What? Failure, do you intend to be on keyboard mouse?
I do intend, yeah.
Oh, okay. Mixing it up. Alright. So, in that case, let me enter in your information. This one will be Failure. This one will be Anor. And Anor, I think Failure put you on the Night Wings. Is that what you're looking to do today, or do you want to mix it up? That's fine? Okay. Okay. So we have the Rage of Demons, we have Iggy in the first slot, and I think that's all we have here, unless you want to go any further than that with your Exiles request to Nor, but I think we may be ready to get going.
The time is nigh, Exiles. You heed the summons to the pit of Melith. You now have this chance to prove yourselves. Let us determine which of you is the superior. The Fate stand ready. Prepare yourselves, Nightwings. The rite shall begin forthwith.
Alright, so we know what the first exile is. It's going to be Iggy. Iggy on both teams in the first lot, remember, is the request for exiles. Other than that, we may see some variation, of course, across the two teams. It's a meta Ignarius for Phaler. And of course, this arena could spice things up a little bit as well, as it is not only quite small, which opens up some possibilities, it also is, well, the easiest for some wall bouncing shenanigans. That's a speedy Ignarius for Nor, so already a difference between the two setups. Phaler, Super Portal, Webbed Lanthorn, Raji. Nor goes Fell Swoop, Prayer Beads on Tamitha. What's up, Roars? How's it going? We are setting up our first match of the night, Phaler against Nor. We have a request for Ignarius first. But other than that, it's up to these two to figure out how they want to go about doing it. And that was that an exploding deluge there? Then Nor also goes Web Lanthorn on a Super Portal Raji. So, in that sense, some similarities. A little bit different on the demon setups, and obviously one team has a worm, the other team has a harp. Orb inadvertently hits Nor's Pyre, bounces out. Buying Nor a little bit of time here, but Phaler, with the orb close to Nor's Pyre, does have time still to throw it in for 30. Iggy taken out on Nor's side, and suddenly plenty of room for Phaler, as Nor was defenseless. So Phaler follows up with another 30 damage throw from Ignarius. Oh, but Ignarius once again putting in some serious work here for Phaler.
Ignarius flung the orb into the flame.
Iggy down on Nor's end. Nor explodes on everyone except for Iggy, though. So Ignarius versus Tamitha. Tamitha pushes him, but gets banished. Raji back defensively now. He gets taken out. Now Iggy versus Iggy. Iggy banished. Tamitha comes back. She gets the orb for Nor. Nearly makes it in, but banished before she can do so. Now it's Nor on the offensive. Tamitha taken out, back to Iggy for Phaler. Iggy banished by the opposing Iggy. And after much back and forth, it is eventually Nor who finishes that round with a 30 damage Ignarius plunge. But no prayer beads on him, so Nor is now Iggy-less. At least until Phaler throws it in for slightly less than the maximum there. But with 21 Pyre life, it is still possible for Phaler to finish this one in this round here. Ignarius certainly has enough, and so would a Seize Chance Worm Plunge. So Phaler takes the win.
It was as though the scribes themselves stood by their side.
GG.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
Well played, you two. Let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
Ooh, some words being thrown around here. But we'll reset ourselves. Let us know, chat, if there is anything we want to see for the next one. Anything we want to see for this one, or do we just have them both take whatever they'd like? Looks like that may be the case, barring any last-second requests here. So why don't we jump in?
The fate shall now face the Nightwings.
Oh, and we got a boat request from Royce, which was just a second too slow here. We can do it for the next one, for sure. But this time round, at least, we are at the Glade. So we go from one of the smallest arenas to perhaps the next smallest arena. And this might be the smallest altogether.
Exile.
It's Titan Tooth on Soxiana. And although the distance between the two pyres is quite small in this arena, it is rather wide. So perhaps in that sense, the total area may still be bigger than the Pit of Melith.
Bertrude.
Speedy Bertrude. That's the lead for Anor.
Tamatha.
Followed by Speedy Pamitha for Phaler. That is, of course, two harps. Which, anytime you see the lead off with two of a given class, you always have to ask yourself, yeah, does that mean that the third exile is about to be the third of that group? Well, Anor goes Leech and also the Salute with Udmilda. So she'll be able to transform all of Phaler's exiles into defenseless howlers once during this match. Phaler does not go Triple Harp. He instead goes for another quick-throwing Ignarius. Now, of course, Anor has gone Double Crone. Is she about to go 3 of a given class, or, like Phaler, is she going to mix it up with that last choice? Now, the Stubborn Flames do not stack. And perhaps Anor convinced herself not to go double Crone Salute. as her third selection is an exploding Gilman, and she is well known to not be the biggest fan of the worms. But here she is with only Gilman left, and nowhere to run. Does, however, bring back Bertrude. She's banished, but then gets Gilman return. Though Ignarius takes him out. Oh, except, did Gilman get off? A last-second stunning claim there and set up a Crone plunge in the process. Phaler, though, responds with a 20 damage Harp plunge. That means he is without Zaxion in this round, though. Iggy. And Panatha. And that Milda looks like she's a member of the Fate with that triumvirate, or with the raiment color. But do not be fooled, all the Crones are on Anora's team. Phaler was not fooled, as he plunges for another 20 damage Harp plunge. On the Titan Tooth, is that a double Titan Tooth? Both players stunned there, perhaps. Oh, a stunning claim as well? For a second there, it looked like we were testing out what is the longest possible time in which neither player can move. But Anor, oh, breaks out the Crone salute. So Phaler unable to defend. Anor scores for 30 and also leeches for 15 as well. So huge point swing in Anor's favor there. Phaler, though, back in possession and back to plunging with those harps. That's where most of this offense has been coming from, although Anor leapfrogs over the defender and in for 30, and now Phaler dropping down to just 15 Pyre life means Anor likely just needs one more. The Titan Tooth stuns the players. Udmilda coming through, but not quite elusive enough to make it through there. And even Gilman does have enough damage. But he goes down. Ignarius switches in. His throw is short, though. Udmilda to Gilman. Makes a rush for it, but he's not quick enough. Phaler over the worm and in for 20. And now Anor may just need one score, but for Phaler, it's only 2. So he's not that far away. Oh, but that throw inches off. But after that plunge, now suddenly it is a 1-score game for either player. Though Phaler is without Ignarius, so numbers advantage in that sense. Nonetheless, only Gilman back defensively. The stunning claim! But Phaler is unaffected.
Perhaps a stroke of fortune ought to be thanked.
Perhaps a stroke of fortune ought to be thanked.
Thus end this night's proceedings. Until the next rite.
All right, well, let us know, chat, if there's anything you'd like to see for the next one. Oh, we did have the boat arena request. And Anor is following that up with Customize off for maximum chaos. You'll love to see it. Could still do a song, if we'd like to. But otherwise, just about everything is accounted for here. Is there a particular song that captures this moment? Thrash Pack? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That can certainly do. Alright then. It has been a while, hasn't it? So, it'll be randomized exiles, masteries, and talismans. Won't even get to see what those things are in advance. Just gonna get thrown straight into the action here. The players were gonna have to figure those things out on the fly. On the boat, no less. So let's see what happens. Okay, for Phaler, it's Demon, Crone, and Harp. For Anor, it is Demon, Savage, and Worm. Those demons, of course, generally considered the class most positively affected by the boat magic, and it is Phaler starting off with a demon. No prayer beads on Vids for him, though. It's Jody for Nor. Back to the stowaway. Back to Jody.
Such a display.
Such a display indeed. She plunges for 30. Oh, and Nor actually had the extra starting Pyre life from her demon, though. But no one back defensively, at least not quite quickly enough to stop that Crone throw for 30 damage. And now we are just about tied up here. And oh, little black magic jump there from the stowaway, curving around the defenders and in for 20. She's also gone for this round, and Jody gets a boat magic perhaps when Anor was least looking for it, as she's now on the opposite side of the arena, and that leaves Anor with no one back to defend against this. 30 damage throw from Vids. Anor was also checking to see if she had the stunning claim. Neither has that, nor does she have the Brazen Manor on Jodariel. So looks like not many, if any, salutes. Once again, time for failure here. And Vids has proven to be a big factor for him. Does actually have the Savage salute to teleport to the orb. Oh, and there's Jody. That time a little more luck on the boat magic. A little more useful, but still not enough to make it in, except for failure. Continues through with Vids.
They brushed aside their adversaries without too much trouble.
GG.
Right is complete.
Full right side Jody. Ooh. Yeah. Big sad indeed. I mean, the extra starting Pyre life certainly wasn't bad, but usually you want at least a bit on that left side for sure. Alright, so we'll turn Customize back on and we'll reset everything else, unless, of course, there is something else we'd like to set up for this one. If so, then let us know, and, well, it is Failure who says, hold on just a second. That simply wasn't good enough. We need to try that again. Boat, Customize off. Seems as though that is the case. Pit could also be a good one for Customize off, but it seems Failure has convinced us that boat is the solution.
The fate versus the night.
So what will it be this time? It is Harp, Savage, Cur for Failure. It is Nomad, Crone, Demon for Nor, and that Demon is Orlek. So that is, of course, the character who is most positively affected by the boat magic, as we are seeing right here, right now, more so than even all the other demons.
Now then,
He is now gone for this round, though, as he has no prayer beads. However, Hedwyn following up in his place, plunging for 20 there. He also is gone for this round, though. Bertrude caught in the corner there. Orlek back defensively. That is a lightning fast Pamitha.
douse the flame.
Hedwyn uses a little boat magic of his own. It sinks under the defender, and he has some leech as well. So 20 damage plus 10 Pyre life back for Nor. Yeah, Nor, you can tell she's getting especially experimental with that boat magic on even some classes that we tend not to see as much. Oh, and some reverse psychology there. Just when was the jump going to happen? Nobody knew.
Once more like that, we are finished here.
Until Bertrude made it through. And Hedwyn nearly finished the job just there. Failure has it back.
Merely a
And
glancing
with
blow.
Dalbert, a quick 7 damage throw and 4 leech. Now, the leech is significant, as that could help Failure not only score more points, but also get some Pyre life back. He'll plunge for 20 here, but is still staring down quite a large deficit. Perhaps that leech can give him just a little more margin for error, where otherwise there may not be any, as Orlek nearly made it through that time. This is Failur's Leeching Exile, though.
The fires of his foes.
It's 20 damage. And Failure now up to 19 Pyre life. You'd think a couple more, and that would make a pretty big difference, as that would mean Hedwyn no longer has the damage to finish it with one go. But here's Orlek. He certainly could still Finishes with 1 score. Oh, but Nora's backing it up. And maybe looking for the glorious Air Orlek display. But it won't happen this time. He has returned, though. Lines it up again. Failure, though. In position to defend against it. Oh, but round 2. Orlek hopping around like a kangaroo. Blocked, though. Oh, it follows up and banishes all of Failur's exiles with lightning speed that would only be possible on the boat to set up that winning plunge.
And what a crushing victory it was.
GG. I was Mooncrest on Orlek. That's how he came back so quickly on that one occasion. Orlek could Mooncrest bad, but Orlek plus Mooncrest, and suddenly he can make that work.
The stars align.
"60% of the time, it works all the time." Alright, well, we'll reset ourselves here, but let us know if there's anything we'd like to set ourselves up with this time round. Yeah, we got a random Thrash Pack for a second time there. So anything we're looking for this one? Or are we thinking we're just gonna have them take whatever they'd like? Seems like that will be the case here. So why don't we jump in?
The fate shall take off.
Oh,
The night
okay.
winds.
We're in the book,
Welcome.
and I have a
Who shall
feeling
conduct the rites?
that these two players have very different opinions about this arena. Something tells me that may be the case. Don't know what exactly it is about it. Couldn't tell you why, but I just have that little feeling. Edwin has... Wait, what? Oh, last time he must have had it. Yeah, because he has the... Oh, penalty this time. Interesting. I guess it's one other way to give you some insights on what happened during a customized off match when you otherwise might not have been able to determine. And Nor goes Prayer beats Pamitha as her lead. Failure takes Web Lanthorn Raji. Now a quick throwing stowaway on Anor's end. Failure goes double Cur, that is a Prayer beats Dalbert, as his second selection. Oh, and a ring as well. be a Speedy Udmilda is the last choice for Anor. Here comes Phaler. He loops around the defenders, but does get banished. Here comes, whoa, Raji on a banishing spree.
One and all.
That means plenty of time here for Phaler on what I believe is his Prayer Beads Cur, yes. So Phaler's still at full strength here. Dalbert follows it in, and that's the same one. One who has Prayer Beads, so he's back. And this time it's the Titan Tooth activating, but Anor switches out of it using the Harp Salute. So she was prepared. But now, no Harp means can't prevent herself from being stunned, and so Phaler follows it in, once again with Dalbert. And that was the stun once more, but that time Anor was prepared with the Harp Salute, so able to avoid it. But Phaler, back to the same strategy. This time goes in with his Titan Tooth Cur, though, so that means that Cur will be gone for this round. Now, distinct numbers advantage to Anor. Phaler in possession, though, with Dalbert. Oh, and double banishment with Dalbert. Following up with the plunge.
The fate prevailed. They overwhelmed their adversaries utterly.
GG.
The rite is ended.
Well played, you two. Let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
Breaking out the curs. Alright, well let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like to see or hear for this next one. Oh. Sounds like somebody disconnected there. Not sure if that was intentional or... That was random? Okay, let me get you back in then, Anor. No worries. And we do have a Ridge of Gold from Blood Princess. How's it going, Blood Princess? Feels like we've been getting all the small arenas today thus far. Outside of the boat, we had the, Pit? We had Glade. We just had Book. So good to see Ridges, middle of the road, I suppose. Doing all right. Doing all right. Good to see you. All right, we have Anor back in. Anything else beyond the arena that we are looking for here? Now, we've had, a bunch of small arenas, a lot of demons, a lot of harps thus far, it feels like. Seems like it's just the arena, though, for this one. So let's get started up.
The fate shall confront the Night Wings. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Right, and Phaler leads with a power casting headwind. Anor follows suit. What's this? Phaler goes with Snadra for Nomad number 2 on the support side of the tree. Anor also goes for Snadra, but complete opposite side of the tree, so more casting synergies. Once again, you see the two of a kind for one class. You wonder if the third one is going to be to complete the set. But for Phaler, that is not the case. He goes full rekindling on a quick throwing Volfred, almost a war crime. How very interesting, Anor says. And she had matched Exile for Exile before. And of course, she is well known as our resident sap expert, but does not seem to be going the sap route here. No, she goes for a third Nomad. Does not take the bait there. We'll see how this plays out then. Big cast banishes the entire team. So Nor with an open Pyre here to attack, and it's Snadra throwing it in for 20. I suspect we will see a lot of these casting wars with all the Nomads in this match. But it's Phaler hopping in now. Good for 20, as well as 10 leech.
Fire on each side burns just as true.
Except that, the voice is, he's never been so good at the math. May or may not have forgotten about the leech aspect. And also, Lendl is wearing Snadra-colored raiments, which is awfully confusing. Oh, but that well-placed sapling bounces the aura back in Headwind's face, but here is Lendl. And here is the rest of the team. And Or tries to go the casting route, but banishes 2 of her own exiles in the process. So those saplings causing some trouble for all the casting, and maybe that is the reason why Phaler chose to take a sap on that last spot. Edwin cornered. But eventually, the Nomads start to crowd out Phaler's defenders. Applying pressure, although Phaler able to banish 2 in one play there. And suddenly he's on the offensive, and he has that quick throw. Intercepted here, though, by Lendl, and he's waiting for those reinforcements. They have just arrived. Snadra, the stutter steps. Not enough to phase an Or. And Phaler, mind you, is headwindless in this round. So there is potentially numbers advantage here for an Or, as everyone is now down on Phaler's side. Snadra returns in time to make the defensive play. Snadra against her Imposter, and the Imposter wins out.
Banished, all of them. The orb is up.
Snadra, is she quick enough? No stamina left, so the answer is no. There's a good example of the difference between this arena and the small arenas we were in before. Enough distance between the Pyres where Anor was unable to capitalize on that opportunity in time. Ooh, quick interception there. Also, might have played out differently if that were a smaller arena.
Oh, you poor Nightwings.
Anor, when you get defenders back with that quick throw for Phaler, he has enough time to get it off. Both players looking to use those powerful casts. But eventually it's Anor who emerges. And after that score, Phaler now back at full strength here. Well timed on the shield from Volfred.
Glorious.
But Volfred just slowly saunters in and banishes the entirety of Anor's team before throwing it in for 25.
Didn't see it coming.
Headwind.
How very sad for
Orb unclaimed next to Phaler's Pyre. Opportunity for Anor here. And just enough time to throw it in, not only for 20 damage, but also 10 leech. So Anor back up to 40 Pyre life. Big cast, though, from Phaler. Trying to create some space, and he goes under the defender that time. Now he's scoring for 20 and leeching 10 back for his Pyre.
Your victory's at hand. The orb is taken.
Anor intercepts, but Phaler tries to move in and apply that pressure with Fulfred. Anor would prefer to do some casting, clear out some space before going on the offensive. So strategically drops the orb. But those saplings and their aura deflecting capabilities have proven problematic. Although well sniped there from Snadra. Is she quick enough this time round? Looks like she will be. She also has that 10 leech. Phaler went all the way down on that left side for the leech on just one of his nomads, whereas Anor did it for 2. So we'll see if that happens to be a difference maker here, although Anor now defenseless. Is Volfred quick enough? He has the quick throw. And, well, if not for that leech, Anor would have been down just then. But now next score be all that Phaler needs here, unless Anor can get more of that leech to happen. Interception. But Phaler moving in with Volfred. And trapping Anor. Oh no! You hate to see it. And then the voice even goes as far as to say, "Do it!" He knows.
The rite is done.
GG. All proceeds as planned.
Until the stars align.
I don't know if we've seen any core sightings today, that's true. We'll reset ourselves here, but let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like to do for the next one. What are you talking about? Core's been here all along. Maybe this is just proving it today. But is there anything that we're looking for in this next match, or will we just have these two take whatever they'd like? Now I'm imagining a world in which, rather than having Phaler's name in, we have like Core or Core V2 or Core's alt as the name, and then Core does join the stream later on. He's like, what's happening? What's going on, guys? Anyone care to explain? But that's exactly what a clone would say. Or a robot. Sounds suspicious to me. Sounds very suspicious. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, well, let's get this one started up. And we will see if this player one continues to show signs of perhaps being a clone, an AI recreation, or something like that of Core.
Welcome.
Oh yeah, you know, a human being.
Shall conduct the rites. Sir Gilman.
That's also a little sus. The legendary talisman on Gilman in the lead spot. We don't see that very often from anyone other than Core. Something tells me that is not a coincidence. Raji in the second spot. Okay. Okay. Honor led with Panatha. Now full left side Fulfred, so he has Numbing Gust. He'll prevent Phaler from sprinting, jumping, throwing, or using any other special abilities when all of Honor's exiles are banished. Titan Tooth Ignarius for the stuns as the final selection for Phaler. Whereas Honor finishes with a speedy Jodario with the extra starting Pyre life. Alright, and here we are. Honor switched into Volfred, only for him to be sacrificed. So still has Pamitha here. Oh, and switches into Jodariel, but she's cornered. Gilman on the offensive. Not for long, though. Baylor sacrificed his imp, but did set up a dangerous portal in the process there. Well, Honor nearly made something happen there with Volfred. Baylor through that portal. Infinite stamina in the process, sneaks around the back. Blocked, but stunned the defenders with Titan Tooth. And knocked them back, perhaps giving him just enough time to make it in for 30 with Ignarius. Now, however, he is Ignarius-less, as he did not have prayer beads, although there is a quick little worm throw for 3 damage, which may not mean much. But what it does do is it means Phaler is back at full strength when he had otherwise been without Ignarius. Pamitha waits for reinforcements, but goes down herself. Well, Gilman goes flying. Well shielded from Volfred. Back to Jody. Volfred from the other side. Now to Pamitha. Hiding within the safety of that sapling. Oh, but just barely caught by the edge of that worm cast. Oh, and Phaler just barely snuck into worm throw there. Good for 7. Volfred. Back to him.
That one almost got through.
And Phaler. Oh, that
A little splash.
I will be honest, did not think was on target. But Phaler does land it. Another dangerous portal for Phaler. She looks to go through, but that means he leaves his Pyre more lightly defended and more room for Jody then to jump in here for 30. Now she had the Tailwind Crest for the speed, not Prayer Bead, so she's out for this round. Pamitha switches to Volfred. Volfred to the other side, throws it in. Also, relatively light on the damage, but much like we were saying, with Phaler's quick throws with his worm, it does mean she's back to full strength here, when she was otherwise without Jodariel. Pamitha blocked and Titan Tooth stunned. However, Honor able to switch out of it with that Harp Salute. Pamitha blocked, banished. Jody narrowly avoids the banishment. Although here comes Ignarius to chase her down. Ring around the rosy. Jody does eventually get banished, but not before passing it over to Pamitha. Volfred playing hard to get, but he is eventually gotten. Jody now. Avoids Gilman. However, blocked. Ooh. Wins it back. Next to the Pyre and able to hop in.
Best not get overconfident, Nightwings.
Gilman for Phaler. Loops around, but not enough time to get the throw. Honor is now once again without Jody, so maybe looking for another quick throw here. much like she did previously with Fulfred, but unsuccessful this time. Phaler through his portal, which was right next to Honor's Pyre. Blocked, stuns, gets rid of one of the defenders, although Fulfred returns just in time to make the defensive play. Buys just enough time to get Hamatha back. Who switches with Fulfred. Hamatha on the attack. Blocked. Switches back to Fulfred. Fulfred sacrifice. Hamatha retreats. Phaler eyeing the portal, but so is Honor. Goes through it. Blocks the defender. Honor does get the defender back, though. Honor stunned. But enough time to get the orb. Just barely avoids losing Fulfred there. Hamatha one side. Fulfred the other. They switch. And Honor tried to create an opening with one exile and seized upon that opening with the other, but lost both exiles in the process. Here's the Numbing Gust slowing Phaler down, but with that portal right next to Honor's Pyre, that is not often. You see players able to score while Numbing Gust is active, although Fall of Solium, the largest arena in the game. But that portal was a big difference maker there. Honor blocks, wins it back.
Too bad for that one.
But Phaler, with an unblockable worm throw, it's short. Jody against Raji. Raji wins out. And Phaler with no Ignarius here needs to find a way to manufacture some offense with other characters, and in the past he had done so with his worm. Not this time, though. Fulfred, and now Hamatha. Back to Fulfred. Not quick enough to avoid Raji, though. And that throw just misses. So Honor back in control. Fulfred on the move. Hamatha waits for Jody. But she goes down quickly. Fulfred's back, though. He switches in, only to get banished as well. Hamatha moves in aggressively. May have been looking to hard push there, but unsuccessful. Gilman knocks back. And Honor wins the orb back. Just Raji, though, for Phaler. Not usually an exile he would like to be attacking with. But perhaps he's thinking about setting up a portal here, as he now has one very close to Honor's Pyre, and likely the reason why Honor put that sapling directly on top of it. Meanwhile, though, here's Fulfred with plenty of time to throw that in, and from that range, that may have been unblockable. Now, though, Phaler back at full strength, as that previous round was without Ignarius. Hamatha switches. Jody jumps in. And Phaler drops low here. One more score, all that Honor would need, in all likelihood. Don't believe Phaler has any leech in his setup. Hamatha. Fulfred. No Jody here, so it's up to those two to get the job done for Honor. Not Hamatha this time, though, and that throw, once again, may have been unblockable. Either way, it is enough to finish the job.
Their adversaries confidently thwarted.
GG.
The rite is ended.
Alright, let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
And let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. Ooh, and Blood Princess comes in and turns Customize off. So once again, randomized exiles, masteries, and talismans. Won't even get to see what those things are in advance, just gonna get thrown straight into the action. Could still do arena, could still do song, but that accounts for a lot of things. Nor nods in approval. Looks like that may be it, though. Surprise is always fun to figure out exactly. All right, let's see. Let's see what we get this time.
The fate shall
Okay,
take
Ridge of
on
Gold
the
for Phaler. Oh, that's double Savage and 1 sap for Phaler. Cur Warp, that is a lightning fast Dalbert. And Gareth, the most stylish Savage the world has ever seen, is the last one for Nora. Oh, and well-timed stunning claim, no less. Certainly a good thing for Nora to establish she has that early. Testing out her other salutes to see if she has any of those as well. Black Claw, you knew there had to be a Cursed Talisman there somewhere. And in this case, it is Phaler's Manly, who is unable to cast. That is probably not the type of class you want to see with a Black Claw. Valiant return on Lady River, and able to block with that return. Dalbert. Gareth. Waits to get some friends back. Oh, and that's a big power jump there. His throw, however, intercepted. Phaler now on the attack, and just runs it straight in with one of his savages. No prayer beads, though, on his Gareth. So he is now Gareth-less, which is a state that no one ever wants to be in. But this time jumps in with his other savage. But the Stowaway did not have prayer beads either. Nora's Gareth. Incredibly stylish. Lady River. Back to Gareth. Gareth sees some space and nearly seized upon it.
I froze.
Oh, Honor froze. Gotcha. Do you need me to uninvite, reinvite you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the safest move, right? Also, may or may not have seen a core appearance here in chat. There he is. We totally weren't talking about you before. And then And then he leaves! Excuse me? Hello and goodbye indeed, apparently. Yeah.
I'm in.
Alright, Honora's in. I'll give you guys a countdown. I'll go 3, 2, 1, go, and on go I'll hit resume. 3, 2, 1, go. That is Phaler with Gareth. Looking for the angle and runs it in. Dalbert. Back to Lady River. Gareth now. Big jump. Fairy Spirit on, I think that was one of... Actually, I'm not sure who it was because both of those savages banished each other. There is Gareth. Going straight in for 20. He's gone now, though. Oh, and Nora about to pass it to Dalbert right as he was banished. That leaves just Lady River. Nearly cornered, although she was speedy enough to at least avoid one of the defenders. But here's Gareth. Oh, and that cast just barely enough to stop him. Dalbert one side, Lady River the other. Oh, and Lady River has banishing throws, and she caught the throw and plunged with it. You don't see that every day. Dalbert blocked Banishes the defender, but does get banished himself afterward. And that might have been Gareth against Gareth there. That's the stowaway, throwing it. Oh, for 26, Phaler has extra damage on his throws.
Now go on, just once more.
Gareth for an ore. Oh, he had that one lined up. Banished 2 of the defenders, but he did go down. There's the moon. It might be Nor who has the moon drop. And Phaler nearly snuck through. Here's Dalbert. There's a stunning claim. Oh, and well timed, no less. Dalbert set up by that stunning claim. It means no Dalbert, though, in this round now for Nor. Gareth. It's the valiant return from Lady River. And stunning claim times it well. Gareth, the only one able to move. He walks it in. Good for 20. And that means Nor is without Gareth here, but one more score, all she needs. And Phaler also needs just one score, but it is he who gets that score first.
A narrow victory, yet nonetheless commendable.
GG.
The rite is done.
Sudden grasp indeed. Gareth on both sides. A huge factor, of course.
Until the next rite.
Hey, what's up, iRotor? How's it going? Alright, well, let's turn Customize back on. Unless, of course, we want to turn it back off. If we want to do that or anything else, let us know. And I would say that was a pretty good Customize off match. Oh, right, hold on. We had the series of requests from Core that he gave us just as he was about to leave. So what did he go for? He went Oralek. No talismans on Oralex, but others can have them. No masteries on Oralek, and then he left. So basically Oralek with no setup, but everyone else can do whatever they want. They say Oralek is strong. Is he strong enough to get the job done with no talismans and no masteries? We'll throw a Thrash back in there. Alright. Okay. Colors driving you crazy. That hit's different when it's coming from the person who made the colors.
The Fate versus the Nightwings. Welcome.
Alright, so nothing allowed on Orlek.
Oralek.
And both players do lead off with him here. And now it's up to them.
Exile.
And you would think that they would go with dedicated Orlek setup characters, which is what Phaler does with a Web Lanthorn Imp, although you could also make the case that since Orlek does not have a talisman, nor does he have any masteries, that maybe you just gotta let him be there, and you don't build the team around him, because he is not as strong as he would normally be. This could actually be an interesting thought experiment in that way, as yes, Phaler is going for the usual Orlek support setup for an Orlek-centric team. Is that still going to be effective, though? With Orlek weakened relative to his usual state. Conventional from her, then again, it's not exactly conventional to put nothing on your Orlek, and as Anor proves just then, maybe you don't need much support for Orlek for him to do his job, as she's able to score with him there. Orlek for Phaler, taken out. Now Phaler does have more means to get Orlek back. Otherwise, though, he is going to be waiting for a while for him to return. Now we're moving in with Wolfred. He's taken out. That brings back Orlek. And Anor also loses Tizo, but now has a portal near Phaler's Pyre. Now here's the problem, though. Anor may have taken the Numbing Gust. However, Orlek is one of the best counters to Numbing Gust because he's a speedy walker, that Orlek, as Phaler just demonstrated. Oh, Nor might have been looking to retreat through a portal back there, but she didn't have one. And Phaler's portal is directly on top of Nor's Pyre, which means if he goes through it, it is functionally an automatic score. Nor, of course, can reset that by scoring here, or banishing Phaler's imp elsewhere, as she just did. Phaler doesn't need the support of that portal, as he can throw it in with his worm for 7 instead. Orlek against Orlek. Nor claims the orb and claims the score with 25 damage from him. Orlek for Phaler, blocked. Banishes one of the defenders, but banished by the second. But here is once again that speed-walking Orlek. Once again, too quick, even for that Numbing Gust.
Shall the fate press their luck, perhaps?
Nor looking to knock back with Orlek's jump, but unable to do so. Phaler blocked. But now here's the problem for Nor. She did not take the Orlek support that Phaler took. So she does not have any reliable ways for him to come back, other than just waiting for the long and painful 30-second respawn. She's stalled enough, though, that it's not far away from happening. That may not be a sustainable strategy, though. He has returned. If he gets banished again, though, would she be able to wait long enough for him to return once more? Well, perhaps the solution is get the job done here and now. Infinite stamina on Orlek, which was terrifying. However, he does get banished. And once again, because Anor did not take Web Lanthorn on Tizo, she does not have a way to get him back.
The orb is taken.
Or at least no shortcuts for doing so. However, that's one way to stall. However, here's an opening. Doesn't need Orlek to score. She throws it in with Volfred instead, although loses 1 damage from throwing that a little bit early. And that may prove to be painful, as it means, technically speaking, Anor cannot finish this with 1 score. It takes 2 scores to do so. But here is Phaler, and technically speaking, the worms are the other class that are best at countering the Numbing Gust, because they are also quick walkers, or squirmers, whatever you want to call them. So Phaler's still able to score there, and now both players just barely out of range with 1 score. Ooh, but Anor, without Web Lanthorn, might have forgotten about it. She exploded on some of Phaler's characters, but did not get anyone back in the process, so was defenseless there. And now Phaler can finish this with 1 score, whereas Anor cannot. She is 1 point shy of being able to do that. Orlek, infinite stamina. Just Raji back defensively. Knocks him back, oh, but not enough to stop him from banishing Orlek, and once again, no way to expedite Orlek's return for Anor. So will she try to get the job done here with Volfred, or does she once again try to wait it out for another 17 seconds until Orlek does come back? Well, if Phaler doesn't apply the pressure, then perhaps that is what Anor will look to do here. Although she starts to move in. Phaler also waiting for Orlek's return. Anor does get Orlek back, but so does Phaler. Orlek versus Orlek. And Anor's goes flying off screen, but does return just in time to make the defensive play. And suddenly, Anor through the portal and in. And this is what I was referring to before. Phaler hangs on with 1 Pyre life. Anor, because she cut that sap throw slightly short, doesn't quite have enough damage. Both players now likely would just need 1 score, but Anor is Orlekless. Can she find a way to get a tiny sliver of damage without Orlek, or will it be Phaler's turn here to finish the job? Anor defenseless, at least until Raji comes back. Will it be quick enough? He dispossesses Orlek and banishes him. Volfred comes back though, locks down the orb. Once again, dispossesses Orlek. Gets the orb back and perhaps looking to wait until Volfred returns. Here he is. Oh, but Orlek lays siege to Anor's Pyre. Banishes the only defenders, but don't forget, Anor took Rekindling on the right light of all things. That is why she didn't have the Web Lanthorn. So second life bar, Anor holds on, but now has just Tizo. He's trying to get Volfred back, and does. But once again, waiting for Orlek's return. Phaler is without Orlek in this round as he plunged with him without prayer beads. So will that right light pay off for Anor? It will! As she throws it in with Volfred to seal the deal.
Although their adversaries put up quite an effort. The ceremony is complete.
GG. Alright, let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
Alright, so that was our matchup with Orlek, with no masteries and no talisman, and yet somehow he still was the most important exile on both teams, it seemed. Somehow, some way, Orlek finds a way to make that still the case. But let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. Anor is offering to swap out if anyone would like to take her place. She is available to stick around, though, if no one else is interested. Same for Phaler. So in that case, let us know, chat, not only if there's anything you'd like to see for this next one, but if anyone would like to jump in here. Both players offering to swap out. Otherwise, of course, we could just have them take whatever they'd like here, if we don't have anything in particular in mind for this next match, and if no one else is looking to get in just yet. Sounds like iRotor in just a bit will be available, but not quite yet, so perhaps this will be our last matchup between Phaler and Anor, and then after that we'll get iRotor in to take one of their places. So anything we want in that case for our last Phaler-Anor matchup, or... oh, well, Anor says absolutely. Let's turn Customize off. Any arena or song, or will Customize off do the trick? Oh, and Pyre comes in, but I'm afraid this is a little bit too late on the Masteries request, as with Customize off, I'm afraid we can't do that. Oh, and Rorse may be able to jump in after this one as well, so maybe we can get some Rorse against iRotor action in the near future. Alright, so it's Customize off for this one, and we can do a Forfeit. Little loop-to-loop. But Anor is... oh, and well, hold on just a second. Of course, there has to be a Cursed Talisman. It would only be fitting. And, well, Hedwyn cannot pick up the orb, but that does not stop Anor from plunging for 20 with her harp. But it does mean Pampatha is now gone for this round. That makes things particularly tricky for Anor after plunging with Pampatha, because can't do anything offensively with Hedwyn. And it's Phaler plunging for 30 with Forfeit. See if Anor makes more of a committed effort to throw it in to try to save Pampatha rather than plunge with her, to avoid having to rely on just Barker for offense. But it's Phaler throwing for 4 with his worm. I mean, not that being stuck with Barker for offense is a terrible thing. Curs, of course, tend to be pretty solid offensively, but it is Phaler plunging once again for 30 with his crone here. But unable to land the worm throw. There is once again confirmation. Headwind cannot pick up the orb. And that leaves just Barker, who does not seem as fast as he would usually be. I wonder if that might be at least an... Oh, he has Canned Singularity. Barker has Canned Singularity. Now, does he just not have Lightning Run, or is he a right-sided Barker? That I'm not sure of. Haven't seen how many jumps he has, but here's Phaler plunging for 15 with his worm. That means he's worm... Oh, or rather, yes, he has 2 worms. He's without one of those worms, as he did not have prayer beads, but 1 crone score is still all he needs here. That seems like extra range on that Kerr cast, or at least, suppose it's not often we see Kerr's playing a big role defensively, but there is the confirmation of the Canned Singularity you can see there. Headwind used as a means to banish one of Phaler's exiles, but there is the Canned Singularity activating and helping Barker there to win back the orb and banish one of the attackers. Ametha, forfeit the only defender, but still enough to get the job done for Phaler. Forfeit sidesteps the cast, loops around but blocked and banished. Here's Barker. Oh, and that little drop there from Headwind, is that a difference maker? Does Nor still have enough time to make it in here? What looked at the time like an automatic score, yes, she does still have time to make it happen, although perhaps initially she was hoping she would have had time to throw it, so that she would not be stuck here with Headwind as one of her only 2 exiles, and of course, as we were saying, he can't do much offensively, so a lot of pressure on Barker here, both offensively and defensively, as that throw is a game winner.
The fate prevail. The scribes themselves surely have taken note.
GG.
The rite is complete.
All right, and I believe that will be our last of these matches
The next rite.
between Honor and Phaler. But thank you two for stopping by. GG's. And I think now, if that still works for you two, iRotor and, was it Rorse? Were the 2 saying that they might jump in? I think so. Does that work for you guys?
Yeah.
Does, at least for iRotor. I can send you the invite. If you showed up on Steam, that is, I could send you the invite now, but at the moment, I do not see you.
No.
Turn customize back on before I forget. Let me check. There you are. Invite should be sent to both of you. Let me know if I need to resend in either case. We did have a request from Amberic. Let me just double check what that was.
Gamecraft. You have to invite me again.
Oh, okay. We have a request for at least 1 salute. So while we're getting you 2 in, you can think about that a little bit. Let me resend the invite to iRotor, and doesn't seem like Rorse has gotten in yet. Let me know if I need to resend that invite as well. Okay, invite resent to iRotor. Pitamalith will get an arena as well.
Try it again. But
Oh.
I restarted
Okay.
Steam.
Yeah, I think Honor was having some trouble with Steam earlier today as well. There's a chance that Steam is being generally uncooperative today. Yeah, resend for Rorse too? Okay, hopefully Steam gets its act together. Let's try again, shall we? Steam. Yeah, on this one occasion, Steam, I would not like you to take me to Funky Town.
Try it again?
Okay.
Maybe?
Looks like we got Rorse, I assume, is who we have in that case, and it's iRotor, who's, who Steam Remote Play is not pleased to see, for whatever reason, on this occasion.
I mean, we can try again.
That sounded promising,
I
though.
hear sound.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
I'm in.
Okay, and I think we already had Rorse. One of you could just confirm which player you are. I think Rorse is player 1 here, unless that changed once we got iRotor in. Okay, great. So, which triumvirates are you two thinking you'll play today? It's like accusers for Rorse. Is it withdrawn for you, iRotor?
Let me think for a minute.
Oh,
I've
okay.
seen enough green for today, so I don't think I play withdrawn today.
Okay, mix it up a bit, I see.
Huh. Let's play the Essence.
Essence! Once upon a time, one of the most popular triumvirates. Nowadays, I'm not sure I could name a single Essence player who is jumping into the rights. They've fallen off. There we are. Okay, great. So, as a reminder, we do have a couple of requests here. We're at the Pit of Leith, and we also have a request for you to take at least one saluting exile. At least one salute. So you can think that one over. But I believe that's it for what we have set up for this one. So let's jump in. It's been a long time since we had a Kamatha appearance, though.
The accusers versus the essence. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Alright, so at least one salute. Up to you how you guys want to make that happen. Rorse will take it here on the Speedy Gilman.
Alma.
Our runner goes for prayer beads on Almer. Rorse with the prayer beads and the stubborn flame on Bertrude. So if iRotor is in the lead, he is dealing 10 less damage with every score.
Exile.
Web Lanthorn Raji, second selection for iRotor. Oh, careful, you switch deck cells there, yeah. Then Lanthorn on Jody for Rorse. All set and ready to go. Netroder, you took this loot on your first selection, right? On your Savage?
Yes, and also on the stuff now.
Okay, gotcha.
Volfred,
And here we go.
begin.
Rorse, full speed ahead, but banished. iRotor. Actually does the banishing on that occasion. And that is the Savage, jumping in for 20. And I believe he did take Prayer Beads on Ulmer there, so he has returned. Volfred's down. Jody for Rorse.
Trickery.
Gilman banished as well. Orb inadvertently hits the Pyre, though, of Rorse. Bounces back out and gives Rorse a little bit of time to recover here. But iRotor, oh, not quick enough. Rorse. Bertrude, oh, big banishment on the exploding sapling from iRotor. And with a bit of a safe zone, that sapling, well, doesn't need it. Snow Defender's back. But as iRotor was in the lead, as we were saying, that Stubborn Flame will reduce iRotor's damage by 10. So just 15 on that throw. Ulmer back at it. Jumping in for 10. Ulmer again, this time misses the mark. Jody, quickly banished though. Gilman returns. He has the speed to elude one of the defenders and its sapling. But goes down, and now time, perhaps for iRotor, although Jody comes back and makes some strong defensive plays. And now it's iRotor who's defenseless. Rorse in for a 30 damage Crone Plunge. Gilman, banished. Ulmer banished. Jody, taken out. Gilman. Oh, and iRotor wins the race with that Savage Salute, but he's banished. Jody to Gilman. Tries to hop over the defenders, but is blocked and banished nonetheless. Cast from Jody. Exploding sapling from iRotor. Volfred tries to move in and has that quick throwing talisman. So he doesn't need to get much closer before he's dangerous, but instead goes to the Savage route here. Plunges for 10 and will get Ulmer back. As we were saying, he does have Prayer Beads. Here he is. Oh, and somehow avoided banishment, at least initially. And now it's Bertrude. She's taken out. Only Gilman back defensively for Rorse, and that's not really who Rorse wants to have. Jody does make the banishment, but not quickly enough to stop that throw. Perhaps does force iRotor to get it off a little more quickly, though. Just 11 damage on that occasion rather than the full 15. As, remember, can't go the full 25 with the Stubborn Flame active.
Glancing blow. Once more like that, and we are finished here.
And although you would think one score is all that iRotor needs here, oh, and he tries to go off the wall, no less. The Stubborn Flame active would actually require 2 to get the job done. Rorse, oh, well-timed defensively from iRotor there. Jody against Volfred. Well-placed sapling, though. Jody just barely avoids banishment. But taken out now. Ulmer makes it in, but as we were saying, Stubborn Flame active means Roars holds on here. One score though now, potentially all that Iroder needs. Roars trying to break through that wall of sap and sapling, which is easier said than done. Iroder wins it back, has that quick throw. Is he quick enough though? Oh, and he goes off the wall and in for the winning plunge.
They vastly outperformed their adversaries.
GG.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
We've seen a bit of it today in several different forms, I suppose.
Till the stars align.
Alright, but let us know, chat, if there's anything you'd like to see us do for the next one. That was Pitamalith was locked in, and we had at least one salute on each team. That's the only one you respect, though. What else? We had some 360s. Do we have salutes that do nothing right in front of the pyre? Have we seen any of those? Not that I'm encouraging. Not that I'm encouraging any of these other forms of BM. Anything we'd like to see for this next one? Of course, without any requests, we could just have both players take their preferred setups. That also is perfectly alright. And I suppose we didn't give either of them a chance for a proper warm-up. So maybe we give them that opportunity now.
The accusers shall confront the essence.
Back at the ridge.
Welcome.
And no requests.
Who shall conduct the rites?
So both players welcome to take whatever they'd like here. I don't know what you're talking about, Emberic. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, it's a Mooncrest Headwind is the first choice for Roars in what is technically Roars' home arena here. Iroder goes for Prayer Beads on Ulmer, which I believe is more or less what he did last time.
Messenger.
Then the stuns on Messenger Imp. Then extra starting Pyre life on Pamitha in the second spot for Iroder. Super speed on Pamitha is the final choice for Roars.
Demon.
And then speed on Vids is the final choice for Iroder. Ooh, and a black magic jump to get us started there. Some zigging and zagging mid-air from Ulmer. He does return because he does have prayer beads. Messenger Imp. Vanished. Here's Ulmer again. Pamitha against Pamitha. Switches though, does Iroder. Knocks back the defenders and just enough room to sneak in there for 30.
That's it. Fear not the
Ulmer again.
flame.
Plunges for 20 this time. Pamitha. Vanished.
My screen is frozen.
Oh, one sec then. Want me to uninvite you, reinvite you?
Yeah, I just exited the game.
Okay. Let me get you back. Oh, one sec. Make sure we have Iroder back.
Back in.
Okay, so I'll give you guys a countdown. I'll go 3, 2, 1, go. And on go, I'll hit resume. 3, 2, 1, go. Headwind, taken out. Mooncrest does activate that time. May not be 100%, but it worked. But it was not enough to stop the Vids plunge.
Their adversaries must be crying tears of shame.
GG.
The rite is complete.
All right, let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
And let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. That one was just both players taking their preferred teams. So, alright, Emberic, we've given them their warm-up. Whatever that means. For whatever that's worth. Okay, hold on. So now we have requests for Song and Exiles. It is... Wait, now I need to make sure I keep track of who's doing which. Okay, so... Blood Princess says the Stowaway. And Emberic... Oh, Rorse. Has to go after this one, it's getting really laggy. Ooh, okay. Heads up then, for those of you in chat, is there anyone who could jump in to take Rorse's spot after this? Anyone who would take Rorse's spot after this, as it sounds like this will have to be Rorse's last match. I mean, I guess I could jump in, although I'd rather... Usually I try to get as many of you guys in from chat as I can, especially, like, if we're talking about finishing off the night. Who wants me in a liberation rite? I want to get you guys in liberation rites. And Barrick, get in there. We'll get you next time? Maybe. Maybe. Says he didn't. I don't even remember what the context was, but... well, now that you mention it, Emberic, it's been quite a long time since we last saw you play. In fact, I don't recall if we ever have. By that logic... By that logic... all the more reason to get Emberic in after Roars is done. We did have a core sighting ever so briefly earlier today, but then he proceeded to immediately disappear. So don't know if he will make a valiant return, or if he is, he's gonna make like Orlek and be banished for the rest of the round. I don't know. I don't know, Emberic. I am unconvinced that that is reason enough not to play. You'll have to do better than that. Okay, well, why don't we get this one started with these two? We had a song. Wait, which one? We had the Stowaway request, and then we had a song, but I don't remember what the song was supposed to be. I don't know, Emberic. I don't know about that. Was it a, hold on. What was the song request? We had... Oh no, Moontouch was... Okay. Maybe Moontouch was the song? Because it was Blood Princess, I think, said Moontouch, and I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be... The Exile request was for Moontouch as in the Stowaway, or if it was a song request for the song Moontouch. Anor is stockpiling Stowaway his character. Alright, well, I don't think we've gotten the specification on what the song request was, so we're gonna go Moontouch plus Stowaway the character. Why not? We'll make it a double Stowaway. Anor is stockpiling requests. We don't know what Anor is cooking, but surely it is exactly what Emberic would need to go in for this next match after this one. Surely. You meant forbidden no- Okay, fine. Fine, the song request was supposed to be forbidden knowledge. Okay, so this one looks to be our last one between Rors and Ironer. And then obviously after that we're gonna have Emberic against Ironer. Ooh, this... I think this might be our first Isle of Calibur today. So we have a lot. We've had a whole lot of repeat arenas today. I think there are still several remaining that we've not yet seen. Not sure if we've seen a Nest of Triesta. Oh, hold on. Somebody disconnected. Somebody disconnected. Who was that? Who did it? It was Rors. Crashed? Okay. Well, maybe, look on the bright side, maybe when we get you back in here, the lag will be a little bit better this time. Eh? Maybe it was just being a little wonky last time. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise. A rare thing from remote play, I might add. Did that one go through, or do you need me to resend it? Link didn't work? Okay, let me try again. Come on, remote play. Come on, remote play. You can do it. You can do it, remote play. We kind of, sort of believe in you, except for the part where we definitely don't actually believe in you all that much. But maybe this time? A little bit better, perhaps? Or not? Okay. Third time's the charm. Third time may or may not be the charm. Yeah, Steam in general today does seem to be making life a bit difficult for us. It is having a bit of a bad day. Being a bit uncooperative, for sure. That sounded good, though. That sounded promising. Any better now? Out of curiosity, it didn't change in player 1 by any chance, did it?
I cannot move the cursor.
Okay. Any better now, Roars? There we go, okay. Okay, so it's a speedy stowaway. Oh, hold on. Hold on just a second. What was that all about? How utterly brazen from Roars, a brazen manner, prayer beads Ignarius, or rather, Orlek, I should say. We saw earlier today just how effective he can be, of course. Exploding Gilman is the second selection for iRotor. Yeah, I guess Brazen Manor is just linked in my brain with Iggy. But hey, Orlek can do it too, of course. Now, a super speedy Barker is the last selection for Roars. And iRotor goes Web Lanthorn on Raji. Alright, so here we are in what we think may be the last showdown between Rorse and Iroder for the day, and, well, there is the false step nonsense that Iroder is perhaps looking to set up on the stowaway. Barker, though, stuck behind those imps. But he does have the speed. Not enough to avoid Raji, though. Uncontested Pyre here for Iroder to throw it into for 15 damage. False step after the banishment from the stowaway, although it's about to reactivate. Oh, and banishes two in the process.
No sign of the accusers.
Stowaway once more, and I technically think that wasn't quite a false step, although it was extremely close. Stowaway instead jumps in and throws it in the old-fashioned way. No need for can singularity or false step nonsense to make it happen. Barker vanished as soon as he picked up the orb. Stowaway taken out by the stowaway. Barker as well. That means time for Iroder to throw it in with Raji. Iroder. Stowaway looks to throw. Good for 20. Oh, and the stunning claim stuns everyone. Rorse just off target. Oh, and that, wait, what? Did that imp just jump? Like the arena imp. Just jumped with Iroder, seemingly. Everyone down on Rorse's side, but the stowaway returns. Is that enough to stop the opposing stowaway? It is, as Iroder's throw is short. Barker sidesteps the cast. He has the speed, but he's out of stamina. Rorse... No, it's back. Okay, for a second I thought might have gotten stuck. Iroder off the mark with the jump. Goes for the throw instead to finish the job.
Most excellently done this time, I must admit.
GG.
The rite is ended.
All right, well played, you two. Let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
And I believe now... Assuming Rorse... I mean, you're welcome to stick around if you'd like to, up to you. But if it's feeling particularly laggy today and that's frustrating to deal with, then understandable. So, Rorse, do you want to stick around? Or you had said before that you might want to switch out here. While Lenore is scheming up a very randomized setup. Enjoy? Question mark. Using the randomizer for both exiles and for talismans, and then the opponent selecting the masteries. Rorse is good for what Rorse saw what Lenore was requesting here and couldn't say no. Alright, so let's jump in to Discord for the randomizer then. Let's see, you guys may already be a step ahead of me. Let me check. Okay, so huzzah. So if you do, what is it, question mark exile, you should get an exile. And if you do question mark talisman, you should get a talisman. So if you just do 3 of those, then you should get what you need here. And I could do it for you guys if you would like to. Want to see what Lenore was cooking? Alright, so Iroder, you're welcome to get started with that if you'd like to, or I can just do them all for both of you guys, whatever works for you. Let's see. Yeah, sure, I can do them. So the order does matter here. So who are we going for first? Okay, no, Iroder's going. Okay, so Dalbert, Volfred, Messenger Imp, in that order. Then the talismans will line up here. So that means Black Claw, of course, on Dalbert, Vengeful Vow on Volfred, and Ashen Coal on Messenger Imp. That is probably not the setup that Iroder was looking for. I obviously can't speak for him, but I feel like that is not a stretch to say. Alright, so now, Rorse, you can do that as well for yourself, or I can do it for you, whatever you prefer. I mean, I have it right here, so I can do it if you'd like. Let's see, so for you, start with the exiles, I suppose. So exile number 1 is Almer. Exile number 2 is Barker. Exile number 3 is Delbert. Okay, so 1 Savage, 2 Curs. Then we'll go for the talismans. Ooh, help if I spelled it correctly. So this first one goes on Almer, and that is Frozen Soul. Next one, this is for Barker. This is Typhoon Bottle on Barker. Then third one for Dalbert is Bright Wisp. Okay. Alright. We do have a fair number of doggos, at least on Rorse's side. Iroder got one. Iroder got one. Okay, so remember your setups here. So Iroder is Dalbert, Black Claw, Volfred, Vengeful Vow, Messenger Imp, Ashen Coal. Then Rorse is Almer, Frozen Soul, Barker, Typhoon Bottle, Dalbert, Bright Wisp. And then that's not all, though. That's just the start. Your opponent is also picking your masteries for you. So there's that aspect, too. Okay, I think we are song request list for this one, unless someone snuck one in there and I didn't see. But perhaps we have enough chaos already. Yeah, 3 doggos total. 3 doggos total. That is true. Alright, let's get started.
The accusers versus the essence. Welcome.
Okay, so it was a what? Almer
Who
first.
shall conduct the rites?
His talisman, I already forget. Should have written them down. Was it Bright Wisp? One of them was Bright Wisp.
Frozen Soul.
Frozen Soul. Which is, this one here.
First.
Yeah, there you go. Damage on Iroder's Pyre at the start of the match. Then Iroder is picking the masteries. Should I just give you guys both...
Full left side.
Full left side. Okay, full left side on the masteries. All these ones. Yeah, I don't know if there's a specific name we could give this setup. So we've had the randomized exiles and talismans like this plenty of times before, sure, and in some ways, turning customize off is basically the same general idea, but then combining that with having your opponent choose your masteries for you, that's also something we've seen, but usually not combining those two things together.
Alma.
It was Barker with the Black Claw. That is a painful lead. I mean, he has the orb. Or he has his aura when he has the orb, but that's not saying much for Curs. Can't cast? I mean, I guess that's not a huge deal for some Curs, at least. But now, Rorse, it is up to you to choose the masteries. And is it best if I just give you guys a 2 each side, Rorse says?
That doesn't determine it, though.
Yeah, do you care about Lucky Break versus Lightning Run, or Keen Eye versus Explosive Temper? I could just give you guys both keyboard mouse controls and have you both just manually use your keyboard and mouse to select the opposing team stuff, if that makes it easier.
I don't mind.
I could do that now if you guys don't care. Either way. There you go. Theoretically, you both now have keyboard mouse controls. So you can just use your mouse to select the ones that you want. If that makes it easier. But it may be that Ross doesn't mind which the second selection is on either side. Yeah, may not have any preferences in that case beyond just the 2 on each side. Nope. Okay. So yeah, take whatever you want for the remaining masteries then. As long as it's 1 on each side beyond what you've already taken here.
Dalbert.
Right, then second one. I mean, I've already forgotten all of these at this point. It's a lot of curs. All right, it's both the remaining spots are curs now for Rors. Then
Typhoon bottle.
was Typhoon Bottle? Okay, so that's next page. That one there. And what will the masteries be?
Wait. Maybe for this case, pick another car because Bark has quickness penalty.
Oh! Good point. I know, are we allowed to, because Parker's under the influence, are we allowed to... Yes, Honor says we are allowed to switch to a different cur. So you have Dalbert already for the next one, so I think that means we'll just add Rookie. Because what we're referring to is... Oh, yeah. I mean, you will need to do that, but Parker has a quickness penalty here. So you are being allowed to switch to Rookie here, so that you don't suffer that penalty. We have approval from Honor.
Rookie.
Alright. Then I wrote her. I also don't remember what your second exile is. It was actually, once upon a time, we did have someone who regularly chose to take exploding saps. It was a long time ago, but this is not... They did it regularly, in fact. So this is not completely out of nowhere. But let us know, Rors, what masteries you would like on Fulfred. Because you get to pick for our rotor. Full left side. Full left side. So the Numbing Gust, but no Rekindling.
Volfred.
Last one is Dalbert, I believe. For Rors. Talisman. I don't remember this either. Was it, Bright Wisp? Okay. Which is what? So I never look at this one by name, but it's that, yes. The automatic passing one.
Dalbert.
Alright then. Final one for Iroder was Messenger Imp, and on that... was the Ashen Coal for extra starting Pyre life. Interestingly enough, Roars does have a talisman that reduces Iroder's starting Pyre life. So Iroder will have 20 extra Pyre life as those two talismans sort of cancel each other out. But what will it be for the masteries here? Alright. So, randomized exiles and talismans, and then the opponents selecting the masteries for those exiles. About as chaotic as it can get.
Messenger imp.
But here we go.
Now begin.
Rotor with full friend sidesteps the cast, sidesteps the opponent rushing him down, but does eventually go down. Ulmer leaps, but only into the sapling, but the false step activates, and he's back. Nearly reclaimed the orb, but it is now Iroder with Dalbert.
The first dousing.
Lunges for 20.
Into the
Ulmer off the wall. Can't quite avoid the exploding sapling. Wolfred throws it into the safety of that sapling. But he's rushed down. Except he explodes.
Quite a sour turn for the essence.
Okay, the Numbing Gust active here, but Roars,
Ulmer doused
careful with that sapling there. Finds his way in, plunging for 20. Ulmer now down.
fire of
And it is Iroder going for a curve plunge here. Ulmer taken out. Sapling placed on top of the orb. Wolfred moves in. Wolfred tries to shield his way to protection, but... Oh, actually, it's the follow-up attempt. The 15 damage Imp Plunge from Messenger Imp. It ultimately does the job there for Iroder. Aggressive sapling usage. But the Typhoon Bottle prevents Iroder from doing anything special until Horse gets some exiles back, although Iroder, we saw him do it last time. Tries to go for the wall sap strats here, but just can't quite get it to work this go-round. Doesn't have the same momentum. Now he gets the movement, but not the directionality of it. Ulmer off to the races, and he leaps in.
Ulmer plunged into the fires of his foe.
Dalbert wins the orb race. And had that aura from the Cursed Talisman, even when he had the orb, but as we were saying before, on a Cur, that doesn't mean much. Typhoon Bottle momentarily active, but Iroder quickly still able to fly once again and makes his way in with the Imp once again. Oh, and some crazy off-the-wall action from Ulmer. But the false step activates, so he's back. He's momentarily. Now Wolfred continuing to apply some pressure here. Ulmer lines it up. Oh, but can't quite make it past.
Oh, poor old Dalbert.
Wolfred passing it back and forth, and the number of times the sap explosion on Wolfred has taken effect has been a lot more impactful than we might have anticipated it would be. But Iroder wins it back, jumps back in, and now Roar's down to just 10 Pyre life here.
Finished here. Yes.
Dangerous portal for Iroder now, and well-placed sapling as well. Dalbert against Wolfred. Wolfred explosion continues to be a factor. And this is the Numbing Gust. As Numbing Gust on one side and Typhoon Bottle on the other means neither player really wants to banish the entirety of the opposing team. Wolfred unsuccessful this go-round.
Dalbert banished.
Here's Messenger Imp. Oh, and last second save for Roars.
I almost
Delbert out of stamina. Oh, I rode it with the portal!
Did you?
Takes it through and in for the winning plunge.
Their pyre yet burns with vigor and resolve.
GG.
The ceremony is complete.
Well played, you two. And let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
Boom fretted action. Indeed. As I say, once upon a time, back when saps were very uncommon for people to choose, there was one player in particular who regularly took them and regularly took Volfred with the explosions. The self-explosions.
Thank you too.
Thanks for stopping by, Roars. Nothing personnel. Alright. Was this before the second? This was like very early on. Like very beginning. Before any tournament. I can't remember how long the strat persisted for. But yeah, actually the same player who did Exploding Saps was the first person to do the Saluting Savages regularly as well, which obviously that is very much caught on. But it is interesting to see how every once in a while back in the day we saw some people do some things that were unusual, but then now they've in some cases become commonplace. Or in other cases they have perhaps fallen off a bit. Alright, but I believe Rors has left, and that means we are in need of one more player here, so that is why we will now get Amberic in on the action. Let's see. Amberic, remind me, are we already Steam friends? That's what you want me to think. That may be what you want me to think. But I'm not sure that it's true. Maybe that's... Maybe it's just a fib. A little white lie. An exaggeration, perhaps. But if not, and Barrick is truly unable to get in here, then perhaps we do need someone else here to hop in against iRotor. And I suppose we could look at it this way. We are far enough into the RITE NITE where we could potentially get someone back in who played earlier who just didn't play against iRotor. And that way, at the very least, we still have ourselves a new matchup. Oh, a thunderstorm imploded your computer. That's dramatic. So yeah, if we have anyone in chat who has not yet played today, who would like to do so, then absolutely, you're welcome to jump in now. Otherwise, if we don't, I think we're far enough along, especially since we may be approaching Liberation Rite time relatively soon, that we could get someone in who has already played today but did not play against iRotor, and as I said, at least in that case, we have ourselves a new matchup. Or perhaps someone might be in chat who made a brief cameo appearance earlier today but has not yet partaken of the rites. No? Oh, okay. We didn't summon him. Well, yeah, we needed to perform our core summoning ritual in the previous match, I suppose. And since we didn't do that, he will not appear here. True. Alright, so yeah, do we have anyone who'd like to jump in here? As I was saying, basically, I think anyone could jump in at this point. Blood Princess, if you want to give it a shot, you're welcome to. Otherwise, seems Phaler is volunteering to hop back in. Need to do a 360 to begin the ritual. Oh, we did have some false step stuff happening not that long ago, for what it's worth. But apparently that wasn't enough to summon Core. It takes more. Alright, seems like perhaps, Phaler, we ought to get you in then. Maybe we go for some Phaler I-Rotor action now.
What up?
Hello! Hello again.
Alright.
Alright, so if one of you could just confirm who is player 1 and who's player 2 now.
Doesn't matter. I'm pressing keyboard.
Oh, true! Phaler's gonna go mouse keyboard, so that should be fine. Although... there we go.
You should probably take keyboard access away from me now.
Oh, good point. Good point. There we go. Okay. Alright, and it is, we talking Fate and Essence still?
No, I'll take the Beyond Night.
Oh, okay. Alright, let me just switch up what we have here. Phaler back. I-Rotor remains, but he is switching up the team. No longer do we have the Accusers, instead we have Beyonders here, and let me switch Phaler onto the Fate. There we are. Okay, so both of these guys have had plenty of time to warm up, so throw at them whatever you will here, if you'd like. But as I was saying, we may be relatively close here to jumping into our Liberation Rite, as it is starting to get a little bit on the late side, and of course, both Phaler played earlier today, and everyone's been going for a little while now. But maybe for this one at least, we'll let them go with whatever they'd like. Alright. Feeling merciful, I suppose.
The fate shall take
And as I was saying before, this might be our first Nessa Triesta of the entire day. I can't recall a previous occasion on which we had players playing here. Okay, there goes quick throwing Ninja Ulmer.
No, I cannot move.
Oh. Okay. That is odd. You should still have control. You know what? I'll try... What if that works? Did that do anything? There you go. Nutrition stick on Palmus in the first spot there for I-Rotor. Interesting. Little bit unconventional. Web Lanthorn Raji, second choice for Phaler. Murder goes Prayer Beads on Dalbert. Final choice for Phaler. Titan Tooth on Ignarius is the selection. Now it is Iroder going Web Lanthorn on an imp. So here we are with our first matchup between Phaler and Iroder today. Did see Phaler in earlier, however, was not against Iroder. There is the quickness of the nutrition stick on Palmas, though not quick enough on that occasion. Almer eludes one defender, ninjas his way, oh, next to the Pyre, and just enough time to throw that in for 20. Almer causing some trouble here as well, but he is ultimately banished by his father. Oh, goodness. Was hopping over the lava, and then got cast into the lava when he got bumped by the defender. He is back, though. Now banished by his son, so Almer returning the favor. Palmas. It's Dalbert. Finds an opening here and plunges for 20. Almer around the far side and throws it in for 20 on his end. Ooh, a little 180 cast, although Almer does eventually end up in the lava. Palmas again. Is he lining up the plunge, or is he up to something else? Phaler with the dangerous portal play. Uses Ignarius for 30 damage with that setup. Almer. Banished there. Dalbert. Iroder's counterattack is blocked. Almer again. Can't avoid the lava. Palmas.
Good.
To Dalbert. He's blocked. Now that leaves just Raji back defensively for Iroder. And Phaler threads the needle with the throw. That means one score, perhaps all Phaler needs here, except Iroder has 10 rekindling, so he holds on, but with the second life bar now revealed, we know Iroder cannot withstand much more. And there is the final plunge.
The fate prevailed. Their adversaries did not even come close.
GG.
The rite is done.
Alright, let's head on back. We do already have a request for the next one, and it is an odd one, in more ways than one. Because it is an Exile's request for Exiles with an odd amount of legs. And I'll be honest, off the top of my head at least, I do not know who qualifies. So maybe Ann Barrick has something in particular in mind here, but I am not sure what the implications of that request are. So we can build off that if there is anything that people would like to do. Limbs or legs? Because there is a difference.
I think everything in this game has an even amount of legs.
Right, is kind of... unless, like, a crone tail counts as a leg? A worm tail counts as a leg? Otherwise, I'm not sure what has an odd number of legs. By that metric, by that logic, what, does a cur tail count? Well, I mean, the cur doesn't move using its tail, unlike the crones and worms, at least. Saps, worms, crones would each have one. Saps definitely have 2 legs. Unless you go subsurface, in which case they have a bazillion roots, presumably, and maybe they're a lot more than just 2. But worms and crones, I think, it's the closest thing I could think of to exiles that have an odd number of legs. So, I guess that'd be what you do. Unless we have now encouraged Barrack into modifying this request. I mean, we could always just do crones and worms. That does work. But this might end up being our penultimate right here, our last one before the Liberation Rite, meaning the last one we take any requests. So if there is anything else we're looking to do here tonight, this may be the time to make it happen. I mean, sure, maybe it's this strange leg-based request, but maybe there's something else we have in mind in addition to that. So crones and worms have one leg, for this rite at least. On this occasion, we are saying worms and crones are the ones that are eligible. Okay, maybe that's all we're looking to do then, is just that. So let's jump in.
The fate shall confront the Beyonders. Welcome.
Oh, what? Okay, wait, that fundamentally changes everything. An odd total amount of legs? I thought you meant on each individual character, meaning that everyone needed to be either a crone or a worm. Okay. Odd total number of legs for your entire team means you can have an even number of legs on everyone, and then just throw a crone or a worm in at the ends, and then you're good. Okay, that fundamentally changes it. Okay. Maybe I was just thinking of it the wrong way. Maybe I misread it. Okay. So, I mean, technically you could go for 3 worms or crones, and you'd be at 3 legs total in that case. That does work. Otherwise, you would need just 1. So Phaler is clearly going for just 1, but Rotor does have a choice here. Could go for all 1-legged exiles. It seems both players are going for just 1 of the 1-legged variety. Phaler debating between prayer beads for consistency or the flame leech, which he does stick with for the extra leech. Rotor, I believe, has already taken his 1-legged exile, so this one needs to be 2 legs. Or 4 legs if you were to go the Kerr route. But it'll be Raji with the Web Lanthorn. And here we are. And yes, the math does check out. In total, both teams have an odd number of legs collectively, when we are counting these crones as 1-legged exiles at least. Phaler now answers with a 20 damage throw. Almer rushed down, but Forfeit not quick enough to make it all the way through. Gertrude banished. Worm versus Worm. Taylor sneaks around the other way with Bertrude, who nearly made it through. But as Iroda through that portal, oh, but just missed on the jump afterward. And Iroda applying some pressure here. The very advanced play on the Imp, which now has a portal next to Phaler's Pyre, nearly an automatic score. Iroda intercepts and would love to use that portal, but didn't have the opportunity to do so that time. Doesn't really want to use that worm, or rather that Imp, because now the portal has moved, although ultimately didn't need it, as had plenty of time and space for that Crone Plunge. And once again, though, now has a dangerous portal, not quite as potent a position as it once was in. Dalbert. Back to Raji. Raji through that portal and in for 15. That drops Phaler down to 30, which means one Vorfert plunge could do the trick, and Phaler, perhaps sensing that urgency, uses his Crone Salute here, throws it in for 30, and does have Leech on that score as well. So now Phaler back up to 45, which means it would take a couple of scores for Iroda here. And now Phaler throwing in for 20 means that he only needs one score, if at least it is coming from his Crone. Anyone else on Phaler's side would require at least 2 scores. Iroda has the portal, but Phaler is blocking it. Phaler also blocking Dalbert's maneuver. Palmer. Series of banishments, but Forfeit emerges and comes in for the 30 damage plunge, and if not for that leech that Phaler did moments ago, that would have been game, set, and match. But Phaler's still holding on. Now both players potentially only needing 1 score, though. Phaler, though, needs to be a little bit pickier, as this would not be enough. But it does now mean that he has sufficient damage with Ulmer as well. Oh, but Iroda still had that Crone Salute to break out for the deciding score.
They somehow managed to scrape by despite their adversaries' efforts.
GG.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
Gonna have to ask Greg next time round how many crones, or how many legs the crones and worms officially have. We will have to await his response to get an official answer. But alas, I think it is about that time now for us to have our final rite of the night, our liberation rite. So no requests for this one. We will instead be going to the Fall of Solium, sermon intro on, and we will have no requests from chat, so both players taking their preferred teams here to finish things off in style, and the Beyonders as player 2 here. Iroda, are you thinking we go old? Never to return, maybe?
Yes.
All right. You love to see it. You love to hear it. Okay. If both of you are ready, then let's get started.
Arch-exiles, you heed the summons to the Fall of Solium. Here you may step closer to achieving freedom. The stars themselves shall be your witnesses. The Fate stand prepared. Beyonders stand ready. Now let us begin.
All right, so our final rite of the night, our liberation rite. No requests from chat. Both players taking their preferred teams here. Phaler leads with a quick throwing Ninja Ulmer. Iroda goes Super Portal on Raji. Phaler debates doing the same and does. Prayer beads, saluting Pamitha, second choice for our rotor. Thaler finishes with the Titan Tooth on Ignarius. Whereas our rotor goes Meta, Vids, and here we are, our final ride of the night. Thaler representing the Fate on the left, and on the right, our rotor representing the Beyonders. Best of luck to you both.
Of Solium, the rite has nearly ended. And there it is. At last.
And there it is.
Have proved their worth.
GG.
That wall is really
Rather
annoying.
convincingly, I
have
must
to be really
admit.
careful. Because I couldn't zip down, so I got like 2 or 3 scores.
Well played, you two. That was our final ride of the night, our Liberation Rite. Thank you, everybody who participated in the rite today. Thank you, everybody who gave us the request today in chat as well. Alright, I'm going to jump out of Discord, but I will catch you guys next week. Oh, Discord's over in this monitor! What? That's not supposed to happen. Alright, but I'm not quite done with you yet, chat. That was, of course, as we were just saying, our final ride of the night, our Liberation Rite. Thank you, everybody who gave us the request today in chat. Thank you, everybody who participated in the rites as well. This was, of course, Pyre Community Rite Night. And if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then the best way to do so is by joining the RITE Club Discord server, which you can do by clicking on that link right there. I'm Lids, I'm hosting these Rite Nights, and our streaming schedule is Fridays. We are doing Mass Effect Andromeda, the campaign. For what it's worth, we might finish the Andromeda campaign on our next stream. We're very close to doing that. Remains to be seen. Then Saturdays is usually Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. I may very well be out of town visiting some friends that I haven't seen in quite a while this upcoming Saturday, so may not have our usual Saturday night stream, or might be a much later start than usual. A little bit of a TBD on that front. But then, of course, Sundays is RITE Night. Then Lids Vids on YouTube as well, posting the VODs there in case you missed anything. You can catch it there as well. Also doing some Gwent videos, the Witcher-themed card game, as well as some Thronebreaker, the Gwent campaign. Then if you haven't done so yet already, of course, you can also hit the follow button to get notification when I go live. You can for when I go live, you can also follow me on Twitter, at LidsVids. I post there when I go live as well. But actually, the best place to stay up to date on all things Lids is by joining my own Discord, which you can do by clicking on that link right there. But that's going to be it for me for tonight. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and I will catch you next time.